on a Saturday night.
Hello guys, this is the Gaming Revolution here, and welcome back to an all new Black Ops 3 Zombies video. And today we're going to be talking about potential modes, new modes for zombies that we could be seeing introduced during the course of 2017 for Black Ops 3 Zombies, since obviously Jason Blundell did say that Black Ops 3 Zombies is going to continue to be updated throughout the course of 2017, whether that's in the case of a DLC 5, which a lot of people are speculating about, or whether it's just going to have new updates and new modes added throughout the course of 2017. Zombies is going to be getting new content in some sort of variation, whether it's a full-fledged map, a new mode, or whatever like that. We've obviously already got a Newton's Cookbook introduced into Black Ops 3 Zombies as our very first new feature, but today we're going to be speculating about new modes that we could be seeing. So if you do go on to enjoy this video, by the end of it, make sure to drop a like down below. It would be absolutely awesome if we could smash 1,115 likes on today's video, as well as subscribe to the channel if you've never seen my content before and you enjoyed this video by the end of it, as well as turn notifications on so you never miss a future upload here on the channel. But with that all out of the way, first of all, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to play a clip from an interview with Mr. Dalek JD and Jason Blundell regarding new modes coming to Black Ops 3 Zombies, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, I love bringing that stuff back. But again, it always has to be correct for the map.
Yeah.
Correct for the combinations of stuff, the physicality of stuff.
Right.
That's the limiting factor. Like, it's all just sitting there. I have all the assets still, but it's about, do they work and
make sense?
Does it make sense, right? And sure, can you swap one out for the other? And people would say, yeah, that's great. That's why we have teams of designers who spend time worrying about these things.
Yeah.
They look through it and say, this is what we're recommending. And sometimes the moment say, oh, please get me this kind of thing, or please do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But their job is to be looking at it and design and make spaces and make gameplay that is appealing. And if we're trying to experiment a certain idea or concept, they'll say, well, do you want this or do you want this? You know, and that's the kind of creative art. And I'm very blessed with the fact that we have a very talented team here who, you know, spend tireless hours working all this stuff out.
Yeah.
You know, I get the easy job sitting here talking to you. Those guys, they do the real work down there.
Right, next question, and this is a community one.
Okay.
Have you ever thought of adding more game modes into Zombies than just the core survival? Because Black Ops 2 did have Grief and Turn, and I'll admit they didn't quite work. To me, they felt almost like beta stages of a game mode.
Yeah.
Has that ever been? I'm sure the thought must have crossed your mind at some point.
Yeah, big time. I am a huge advocate of extra game modes. I have not found a way, and I'm glad that you put it that way, because I've not found a way of bringing something through that I've been happy with yet.
Yeah. So the question we were talking about was new game modes,
yes,
or bringing back old game modes, or just having more than just the standard survival.
Yes.
And how we said, well, in my opinion, it felt like the ones in Black Ops 2 were really too basic. And I think Zombies would really benefit having another mode, but like you mentioned before the camera died, it's actually really hard to think of something that actually works and makes sense.
And here's the thing, right? So I think the comment I said before the camera died, which was Zombies is a continual experimentation, and I love that about it. You know, very few situations in game development allow you to truly just play continuously in a very much let's experiment with this, let's experiment with that.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan, mentally, spiritually, however you want to describe it, of a different game mode, different ways of taking this formula and looking at it.
Right.
I just haven't found a way for something that I'm really behind. Like, and I think I said it either in this interview or in previous interviews, that I love playing with little things. We'll try something and then let it go, because you might find something in there that then advises on the next thing.
Yeah.
But when you talk about a game mode, in my mind, it's so significant that it's not just throwaway. Like, if I was going to put a game mode in, I want to be able to stand behind that. I don't want to see it through.
Life.
Yeah. So I've not, up to this point, been comfortable with something. That is not to say I'm not trying.
Okay, interesting. So maybe like 3 years down the line, whenever we get Black Ops 4.
I just think there's definitely different mechanics. We've been playing with that through this whole season and previous seasons as well. A game mode just is a fundamental reimagining of how everything sits together.
Yeah.
And I've never been happy that it's sat in a way that I felt was extendable, and there's lots of different ways. And I've seen lots of different things, and they've been fun. But I've got to think, well, okay, am I willing to do that for 3 years plus another year? And is it going to have a life beyond that as well?
Yeah.
Or is it just this mode that people sometimes enjoyed or didn't like? It's got to have longevity to it, and to have longevity means it has to hit certain criteria, and I've just not been happy with it so far.
Okay, and that makes a lot of sense. Like, because people are just like, we want grief, we want turn, but thinking like realistically and logically, it doesn't. Like, as fun as they were, they don't have a good lifespan. Like,
you can throw grief. I could throw grief and turned in like 2 minutes. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really easy to do.
Yeah.
The mechanics are all there. It's very straightforward to do. I just, if you're talking about where energy's going and the progression of the mode, and I would ask the community and the people who say, I just want it. Would you rather have our energy kind of polishing and refining and trying stuff out to kind of move the whole main bit forwards? Or do you want me, divert? Because it's always a resource game. How do you want where do you want to put energy to? Because even though I say 5 minutes, and by the way, that's very director of me. It takes 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Fix it in post, right? But it takes people. People have to sit down and work on that stuff. It has to be QA. It has to be, it has to be worked out. So, I want to find a mode where I can stand behind it and I can evangelize it and we can integrate it and it all sits together. And I'm super into those, that exploration. I just haven't found anything yet that. I would stand behind and want to have the team stand behind. But the moment I do,
we'll see it.
People will be the first to know.
Okay, great answer.
So as you've just heard, this was an interview from quite a fair amount of months ago, so you've probably already heard about this information, but Jason Blundell said he already has all of the assets and everything ready to introduce modes into Black Ops 3 Zombies if he really wanted to go ahead and do so. So he already has the assets for Turned as well as Grief from Black Ops 2 Zombies, and literally just needs to flick a switch and it could be there in Black Ops 3 Zombies just like that. However, the only reason he's not adding these new modes is because he doesn't think that they fit the storyline as well as they fit the themes of the map, and he also feels that the modes aren't perfected enough to be released as quality content. He only wants to release something if it's definitely up to par of the standard, Zombies experience, and Turned mode as well as Grief within Black Ops 2, they definitely weren't up to par as just the standard survival mode. Grief mode was really good within Mob of the Dead on Cell Block, but the other maps it was kind of a bit sketchy, and Turned really didn't work out that well. It was quite a boring mode indeed. But basically, Jason Blundell was saying that if his team of developers could figure out a way to, sort of alter these modes or create new modes, he would indeed add them within the future. And as he said, we've obviously had a recent interview where Jason Blundell did say Black Ops 3 Zombies is going to be continue to be updated throughout the course of 2017. And a lot of people think that a DLC 5 may be coming featuring remastered maps, which I've already made a video on in the past. But Zombies is also going to be updated with just new updates and new modes and stuff like that in general. So Jason Blundell was saying that his developers just haven't really figured out a way to perfect the modes Grief and Turned as well as create new modes. But throughout the course of 2017, the developers could finally figure out a way where they can perfect these two modes. So for example, the Turned mode, they could find a way to make it better and make it more playable, because on Turned, if you didn't play Turned within Black Ops 2, you were essentially the zombie. It was like a multiplayer mode. It was zombies against players. The players would have to try and kill the zombie, and the player who was the zombie for the long enough time would essentially win the game. Every time you killed the zombie, you would become the zombie. And then Grief mode was sort of like a competitive mode for zombies where you would have two different teams and you would compete to whichever team would survive the longest, and it had a lot of new features introduced. For most of the maps, Juggernaut was taken out and you were limited because it was just a small section of the map. It wasn't the full map as well. And there was also the meat stink, which you could throw at different players, and this meat stink would cause the zombies to just be attracted to that player that has that meat stink. Overall, it was a very, very cool mode, and within Black Ops 2 Zombies, it was found within the code. There was actually the head of Richtofen that was going to be within Grief, we believe, within Cell Block, but I guess it just never made its way into the full release of the game. It could be something that we could see within Black Ops 3 Zombies if they were to introduce modes within 2017. But I was thinking to myself, what if the developers did figure out a way to make these modes relevant to the storyline? Because obviously within Revelations, there was Dr. Monty as well as Shadowman announcer sounds, which I'm just going to play for you guys now.
Kaboom! Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points. Fire sale. Insta-kill. Minigun.
Max ammo. Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points. Fire sale. Insta-kill. Minigun.
So as you can see from those sounds, a lot of people speculated after it was found within the code that it could be for an unsolved Easter egg where you would either have Dr. Monty or the Shadow Man as the controller. But what if what those sound files were for is for a mode coming within 2017 that could be Grief, or it could be a mode similar to Grief. So it could be a competitive mode where you have two different teams, one for Dr. Monty, one for the Shadow Man, and they would sort of compete against each other to who can survive the longest or whatever like that, just like Grief mode. But as he said, it could be similar to Grief mode, but it could be called something new if they were to introduce it. Maybe that's what those Dr. Monty and Shadow Man announcer sound files were actually for. So as he said, Jason Blundell did say that content is going to be added to Black Ops 3 Zombies throughout 2017, and I'll play that little clip from the live stream if you haven't already seen it.
And you know, it's just, you know, it's one of those things we just keep delivering content as our fans are playing the game. We want to continue to surprise and delight them, because surprising and delighting is one of our core pillars of our philosophy at Treyarch.
So, you know, from the world of comic books and zombies panels to, you know, a wealth of content and support, you know, I think it kind of begs the question, sort of, what's around the corner for us in 2017? What do you...
That's a good question.
What's the team got planned? Is it?
You know, I can't say anything specifically at this point in time, but I can say that, you know, as Treyarch, we are excited about this game. We're excited and passionate about our community and our fans, and as long as they continue playing our game, we're going to continue to support it in the same way. So I think we can look forward to another healthy and fun year of updates in 2017. That's all I'll say.
You know, as Dan was saying, right, not only kind of bringing the game out, but then supporting it kind of post-release with kind of fresh and new content that's... Our goal is always to kind of transcend the idea of a DLC model. It should feel like content that is premium content at all times, and I'm really happy that we achieved that in last year.
You know, I think it kind of begs the question, sort of, what's around the corner for us in 2017? Jason?
Yes?
How about you? You know, especially sort of like from the Zombies crowd, there were some very pointed questions yesterday.
Sure.
I don't know. Is there anything that we've mentioned? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I thought that might be a question, and you know, obviously a lot of speculation and talk, and so I've got an official statement I'd like to read to you.
Okay.
I'm afraid that I can't say anything right now. Thank you.
All right, excellent. We will feel that pain for some time to come.
Yes, yes.
All right.
So it begs the question, what content are we going to be getting? Are we just going to be getting small updates like Newton's Cookbook? Because Jason Blundell did seemingly make it seem like we're going to be getting something much better than that, which is why a lot of people think we could be seeing remakes, remastered maps within 2017, but we could just be seeing new modes as well, or both really. Now there is one thing that I wanted to say. Before Black Ops 3 Zombies did in fact release, there was a data leak, and this data leak was from the Black Ops 3 multiplayer beta on PC, and there was a ton of secret stuff found within the files. Now, the first thing that was found is there was coding that suggests there is a mode where the players are able to be the zombies. Now, obviously, as I said, Turned within Black Ops 2, you could play as the zombie, so this code suggested that maybe Turned would be returning, but as he said, if it were to return, it could be called something different to Turned, or it could be a completely new mode to Turned entirely that could enable you to be the zombie. But within the Black Ops 3 data leak for the beta, there was also zombies code in reference to the meat stink power-up that was within Grief mode. So again, this just further backs up the evidence that Jason Blundell already has the assets and everything ready to introduce Turned as well as Grief mode into Black Ops 3 Zombies, but they haven't been able to perfect these modes and make them relevant to the storyline as of yet. But if they were to be able to find a way to do that within the future, then they would instantly introduce these modes into the game, but they just haven't really found a way in order to do it at the moment. So I have high hopes that we could be seeing new modes within 2017 if Blundell and his team manage to sort of perfect these modes. You know, as I said, they may come up with an entirely new mode even that we could be seeing within 2017 that may take, you know, inspiration from Grief and Turn, but they could be entirely new modes, but they may have some similarities and stuff like that. But as he said, it's definitely interesting. The announcer files on Revelations, they definitely could be hinting that we could be seeing some new modes within 2017. This has just been a purely speculation video. Leave all of your thoughts on it down in the comment section down below. Do you think we could be seeing Grief returning within 2017? If not, why? Also, let me know if you think we could be seeing any other modes, and if you have any ideas for new modes that they could introduce, let me know what they are as well. But anyways, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're not here for latest and greatest Black Ops 3 Zombies information. So anyways, thank you for watching, and bye.